today's SharePoint tip video, we're going to take a look at conditional formatting in SharePoint. Conditional formatting is a feature that's been around for quite some time in SharePoint, and it's made its way onto SharePoint Modern within Microsoft 365. This now brings to us a new front end that enables us to apply conditional formatting very simply and very easily. Here's an example of a Microsoft list. This is a work progress tracker that's available through the templates when you create a brand new list. And there are two different types of conditional formatting that we can apply onto our content. The first of which is views and conditional views. The other is column formatting, both of which can be applied to make data stand out, be better presented, maybe something that needs actioned immediately, or something that has to be actioned in the future. Let's just go through both of these examples just now. The first example we're going to go through is a view. A view can be made in the top right hand corner using the view selector. And you can create different views here. They could be for groups and sorts and orderings. You could do different gallery views. We can create new views and even edit the current view. But at the bottom, we have the ability to format the current view. Give that a click. Some additional options come up straight out the box without you really having to do anything. The first of which is to apply alternative row styling, so things become easier when you're scrolling to identify different rows, and this can be edited. And similarly for the conditional formatting, we can start to create rules which will then determine how the data is presented. However, what you can do is you can click the three little ellipses, the dots to the right hand side, and either edit rules or delete rules. I'm just going to delete this one because we don't need it. Click on Add Rule, and based upon the columns that you have at the top, we can now choose what we want to select from. So if we did, for example, the priority is equal to, or is not equal to in this case, you could have one or the other. And there we have our options coming directly from the choice menu. You don't have to type anything in, you don't have to put any code in, it's all out of the box and nice and easy to use. So let's go for critical here. So anything that's highlighted as critical, let's make it red. As you can now see, the data is going to jump out to the users and make it much more obvious what has to be actioned or what needs to be done. With a view conditional formatting rule, you can see it applies this to the entire row. So that whole entire row has been formatted with the red to identify that that item is critical. The next thing we can do in regards to conditional formatting is instead of applying it to the entire row, we can apply it to an individual column. In this occasion, we're going to use the due date. So for the due date, what we're going to take for this example is if the due date is less than today and the progress is not equal to completed, that must be overdue. So we're going to mark that as red and make it obvious for the users to see that that has to be actioned as a priority. And what we do to apply conditional formatting onto a column is click on due date, column settings, and select the option that says format this column. You'll get a very similar experience to the view selector, where we can apply different format to dates and we can do conditional formatting. For our example, we're going to select the option for conditional formatting. Now in here, we don't have any rules just yet. So similar to the view selector, we have to remove the existing rule and add in our own. So we'll add a rule in, choose the column. So this one's going to be if the due date is maybe on or before today. So even if it's identified as today or before today, then obviously it must be overdue. Perfect. And we have a few here. So those are before today. However, what we want to do is just identify the one here that's currently in progress, which means this is now overdue. So when you add an additional conditioning, you can do and statements or statements. So I'm going to go for and. So and check the progress is equal to or is not equal to. We'll go for this one. So it is not equal to completed, and let's make it red. Lovely. So with the due date here, we can identify that this was due yesterday. The progress is not completed, identifying that clearly as that has to be actioned. So we'll save our changes, close this down. There we go. So you can now choose in SharePoint to apply conditional formatting onto columns or onto entire views. That's not the end of it. There's a lot more you can do in regards to learning about conditional formatting that we'll cover in a later video. If you want to learn more about SharePoint, why not call one of our experts today who'd be happy to help.